Well, President-elect Trump and his company, as you know, are facing an estimated 75 open lawsuits, raising, of course, the prospect of constant court battles as he also runs the country. He is due to give a deposition early next month in a lawsuit he filed involving a restaurant at that new Trump hotel in Washington, D.C. And his wife, Melania, well, she happened to be in court just yesterday, suing a Maryland blogger and a British newspaper for defamation. So can he defend the country and himself in court at the same time? Will he have to? Rachel Campos Duffy is a Fox News contributor. Leslie Marshall, a syndicated radio talk show host and Fox News contributor. Welcome to you both. Rachel, let me start with you. I mean,
thank you.
You know, in January, if he raises his hand in court promising to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, then he raises his hand to defend the Constitution. I mean, how does this play out over the next 4 or 8 years?
Look, I'm an open Trump supporter. I think these lawsuits are a bad idea. The perception is when you're dealing with these lawsuits that you're taking care of your own business and not taking care of the business of the United States of America and the people who put you in office. I say to Donald Trump and his team, let it go. You are about to be the leader of the free world. And in the case of Melania, the First Lady, these lawsuits are unnecessary. Let it go. In the case of this, Jose Andres is a perfect example. Jose Andres wants to make, I think, an unusual point that, you know, he's an immigrant himself who came here legally. He doesn't like what...
I want to point out, that's the celebrity chef.
Yeah. Yes, Jose Andres is a celebrity chef who Donald Trump is now suing because he wants to back out of the restaurant. I have friends in D.C. That restaurant, that location, it's a landmark now. Everybody wants to go get drinks there at the hotel. Any chef would take over that place. So let it go? I mean, who cares?
But how about the people suing him? I mean, Leslie, there were like 4,000 lawsuits. You got 75 open ones. There are civil suits against Mr. Trump and his business entities. What do you do about those?
Well, first of all, you are correct. He is the plaintiff for some, but he is the defendant for others, and those have to go forward. And this was one of the concerns for people like me, not just because I'm a Democrat and I did not support the president-elect for this position, were the distractions. And there are other distractions, executive producer of Celebrity Apprentice. It's not just business dealings. I do agree with Rachel letting certain things go. If you talk about Melania and you talk about defamation lawsuit, one of the great things about our country is we have the freedom to speak out against our leaders. And that includes people in the public, our commander-in-chief to be, and the First Lady. And I think that the First Amendment sets the United States apart from the rest of the world. And you just can't say, hey, if you say something I don't like, or even if it's not true necessarily, I'm going to bring you to court. This is a distraction from her duties as First Lady and certainly from his duties as president. And we want him to be focused 100% on this role as commander-in-chief. This is a very serious position, and it requires 100% of his time
Leslie,
and his attention.
Well, if that's the case, what do you tell the people who are suing him? I mean, Paula Jones. Remember Paula Jones, of course, and the final legal legacy of Paula Jones may be the fact that the Supreme Court did rule that a president is not immune from civil lawsuits for actions that they took before they became the president. And President Clinton's lawyers at the time tried to delay that action until after he left office. That did not happen. Remember the deposition in the White House by President Bill Clinton at the time. So, I mean, Rachel, you know what? He could still be facing these lawsuits, and under the law he would be, because they're civil lawsuits not connected to his official action as president.
Sure. I mean, there's going to be some he can't avoid, right? If somebody's suing him and the law says he has to follow the law and he has to deal with those lawsuits, he has to. But in the case of Jose Andres, this is a great example. I mean, I think Jose Andres was wrong in this. He knew going into a business relationship with Donald Trump that he was bombastic, even before he made the immigration comments that offended Jose.
Should they wait and just hold that lawsuit until after he leaves office? I mean, is that you just put everything on hold? Is that fair?
No. Sure, they could do it that way, but listen, what my point is, Donald Trump is right. Jose Andres did not have a clause saying if you're bombastic and offensive, I can get out of this. He knows how to make contracts.
About him. I'm talking about the broader issue of sitting in the Oval Office and having people still trying to sue you.
I think Donald Trump and his people need to look at all these lawsuits and say, this is distracting. It's going to give a bad perception of how focused we are on the issues at hand and the many problems of this country. They need to find a way to at least lighten the load on these lawsuits, because they are going to be distracting and in the very minimum look distracting.
Leslie, what do you think Mr. Trump should do then? And what would you tell the lawyers for the defendants who've been lining up just say, well, Eric and Don will take care of it?
Well, first of all, I think what lawyers did for former President Clinton and what they're trying to do for President-elect Trump is delay, delay, delay. But to Rachel's point, and like we said earlier, letting it go, if you were the one suing, as is the case in many of these lawsuits that the President-elect is involved in, his lawyers have the right to settle, and certainly he wouldn't have to be taking the time and the money, in a sense, from the American taxpayer going forward in the future with these timely depositions. Hours of testimonies are involved in these depositions, and this is already a man that we're concerned about that's not get daily intel briefings.
Well,
we need him 100% focused on this job.
Yeah, you know, talk about settling. This may be a way to force some of the people suing him to not, but we'll see how this all plays out. And the Supreme Court has ruled you can sue a sitting president for actions civilly that he took before he took the oath of office. Ladies, thank you so much.